Hey, what's up everyone? Jordan with Contenta Properties here, and today I'm going to be walking you through the latest rehab project that we did in Knoxville. This one was a short sale and it was a fix and flip project. Originally I bought it to try and hold it as a long-term rental property, but unfortunately when it came time to approve the short sale, the bank came back to us and they were like, "Hey guys, in order to approve this short sale, we're gonna have to get an extra $20,000 from you to close the sale." And we tried to negotiate with them. We were like, "No, we're already under contract at this price," but they weren't really having it. And they're the bank. At the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want. So we wound up having to pay more for the property on the front end. And then once we got into mid-rehab, or really right at the start of the rehab actually, wound up we had to spend about $10,000 to $15,000 more than anticipated. So once you add up all those additional costs, the numbers just didn't really work as a long-term traditional rental. So instead of doing that, we offered the property for sale, just for cash. Like someone can come and buy it outright, or for lease purchase, which is a little bit, it's kind of like a rental, kind of like selling it. It's a mix of both. I'm not going to get into that too much, but somebody wound up buying the property for cash. We're currently under contract right now, pending closing early June. Yeah, it should be the first week of June if I remember correctly, so I'm super excited. But anyway, let's jump into these before and after pictures and I'll kind of walk you through the process. So right here, this is, I do apologize, some of the before photos are a little fuzzy. I don't have great before photos, so just apologize for that. But yeah, right here, this is the property before. This is one of the original listing photos, and you can see here there was this huge tree, and in the photo the tree is alive and looks nice and healthy, but when we closed on the property, the tree was totally dead. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe the listing photo was old or something, but the tree was just totally dead and it was posed a risk to the property. So that was one of the unanticipated things that we had to deal with from the beginning. And yeah, you can see here the tree, no longer there, totally got rid of it. And now we just have a nice clear yard. We had to seed and straw the yard too. So here's the straw right here, which is protecting the seeds, the grass seed that we put down. This straw, which I did not know, but that's used to keep birds from eating up all the seeds. So I just never knew that. So interesting fact there. Moving on to the next photo. Okay, so here we go. Here's one of the before photos. This right here, this area, that's the living room. And I'm sure you can see this is just dirt right here. There's no floors. One of the big things, really the biggest thing, when I was mentioning earlier at the start of the video, how we wound up spending a lot more money on the rehab than anticipated, was because we had to replace every single floor joist in this house. Every single one. Now, when I first bought the house, the real estate agent that sold it to me, she disclosed that there was a foundation issue with the house. The main beam needed to be replaced. And it was quoted, there was a quote included, it was like $6,000 or something like that. Not too bad. So we buy it, anticipating, no, we're gonna need to replace the main beam. We know some of the floors are gonna have to come up so we can replace the main beam, but not all of the floors, at least that's what we were expecting. So after we buy it, my contractors start tearing up the floors, like, all right, we're gonna get the main beam fixed, because that was the first thing that needed to be fixed, right? We wanna address foundation issues before we address anything else. Contractor calls me up and goes, yeah, we're gonna have to replace a lot more than just the main beam. Every single floor joist in this house is rotted, uh, damaged. It's no good. We can't salvage them. Can't salvage them. We gotta replace them all. So that took the replacing the main beam, which we were expecting to be like $7,000, to replace every single floor joist in the house, and that was about double the price, somewhere around double the price. Don't remember exactly, but it was a lot more. So yeah, here you can see they've got all the floor joists in the living room torn out so that they could start replacing them. And here you can see all the nice, lovely new floors that we put in. So prior to tearing out the all the floor joists, they had a similar laminate to this down, but yeah, we took out the old laminate and replaced it all with new laminate. In the kitchen, you can see this transition here. In the kitchen and in the bathrooms, we did a waterproof laminate just because, you know, the sink, dishwasher, whatever could, if it were to leak or, you know, anything, if someone were to spill something on the floor, more likely in the kitchen probably. But we used the waterproof laminate in the kitchen and the bathrooms just to help keep the floor safe. And then throughout the rest of the house, we used a very similar laminate. So it almost looks, if you're looking in the photo, you can barely even tell. But yeah, throughout the rest of the house, we didn't use the waterproof laminate. We just used a regular laminate. Now, yeah, and here you can see the kitchen too. You know, we updated these lower cabinets. I apologize. The lower cabinets had to be replaced. The original ones that were in here were just too far gone. We were going to try to save them, but they really couldn't be saved. So we had to replace all the bottom cabinets. The upper cabinets were salvageable. They were still in good shape, so our contractors just cleaned them up, you know, made sure that they were ready to go. See, so like here, you can see the bottom cabinets have been removed, but we left in the top cabinets because they were okay. And you can see, yeah, we were able to keep the microwave and we were able to keep the fridge too. This is the fridge that the property originally came with, but it definitely needed a good scrubbing. So our contractors made sure that all the appliances were scrubbed, and in great shape. They just had to move them over to a different room while they replaced the floors in the kitchen. And once they got them reset, yeah, they look really nice. And over here is really the only new appliance we had to buy, which was the dishwasher. The original dishwasher was just too far gone. We couldn't save it. And we don't want to try to save anything if it's not going to fit with the newer feel of the house. We don't want everything else to be new and then one or two things is just all old and outdated. You know, it's not good. We want to make sure everything is brought up to the standard we're redoing the house to. So we replaced the dishwasher, and now it looks a lot better. Matches the other stainless steel appliances too. So just a couple little things that I'd like to point out in this photo too. You can see this little plant here, little knickknacks over here. Our realtor does a little bit of light staging, when it comes time to sell the house. We don't do anything crazy, we haven't like put in beds and full couches and all that stuff. We could, we certainly could if we wanted to, but we've been very happy with just doing some light staging, bringing in some pops of color like this right here, just to draw your attention to some of the features that we really want to stick out. And she does a really nice job with some very affordable, probably stuff she already has, to be honest. And yeah, it just helps things to stick out a lot better. So let's move on. So yeah, here's another photo here. These are all new floor joists going throughout the entire house. And this is the kitchen right here, and the room leading off the kitchen. And right here too, you can kind of tell we put in, actually it might be hard to tell in the video, but down here underneath the floors, that's called the vapor barrier, right? So let me go back. You can see right here, this is just the dirt, right? But now if we move to this photo, you can see there's like a little tarp under there. That's called a vapor barrier. What that does is it helps protect all these joists from any moisture that may be under the house, right? So like if it was pouring rain or anything and the ground was just really wet, we don't want moisture evaporating up and getting onto the new floor joists, because that could cause rot. So very important to make sure, you know, in areas where necessary, you install a proper vapor barrier just to keep things nice and dry and protected. So that's that. Let's go ahead and move on. This one, I believe the next picture too. This was the red room. We like to call it the red room because it was just for, I don't know what reason, but it was red. Yeah, it was just this bright red color, and it really didn't look that great. So you could see like the door going into the bathroom was red, all the walls were red, and it was just kind of weird. So we painted this room, and we painted this whole bathroom the same color as the rest of the house, just like a nice, you know, modern light gray feeling. And so now this room looks a lot better. And you'll also see, oh wait, maybe it's you'll get a better picture of the red room, I think, in the next slide. But for now, here's one of the bedrooms, right? So you can see before we bought it, yeah, there was kind of stuff all over the place. But you know, of course, that's to be expected. It was being lived in. And you know, now here's the after with you know, updated the paint colors, put in the ceiling. When I bought the property, I couldn't really tell, but my contractors were telling me that all the ceiling fans that were originally there were just starting to get kind of old and all beat up. You know, I was hoping that we'd be able to just clean them up and save them, but we couldn't. They were too far gone. You know, and again, we don't want to try to salvage something just to save a couple bucks, but then have the rest of the house, you know, be nice and upgraded while these other few fixtures are kind of lagging behind. So you know, we went ahead and upgraded all the ceiling fans throughout the house, and I believe even some rooms didn't have ceiling fans, and we added the ceiling fans in. That's a personal favorite thing of mine to do, is to add ceiling fans to the room. I just think it's a nice way to get some extra ventilation, and you know, maybe instead of using the AC, if you turn on the ceiling fan, it's better for the environment. And that's something too that I like to try to do when rehabbing these houses, is try to do it as environmentally friendly as possible. If we can upgrade the windows to help better insulate the property, awesome. If we can add insulation, great. Low flow fixtures, love it. You know, anything we can do to just help make the house more energy efficient and just reduce impact on the environment, I'm all for it. So yeah, and again, you can see here in the bottom left corner, you know, these were the old laminate floors, like this lighter brown color. You know, now we have this nicer, more modern, like light gray color laminate floors throughout the house. So that's that. And here's here's one of the new ceiling fans that we installed. Okay, and moving on. This is the living room area. So you can see my contractors had sent this photo here on the left kind of midway through the process. So you can see they were starting to mud the walls and get them ready to paint. You know, they were doing their sheetrock patching and just getting everything prepared to really get the finishing touches on. And you know, you can see here all the spots where they're doing the sheetrock mudding. Floors haven't been installed yet. Then over here, you know, we've got a nice finished product. All the walls have been fully smoothed out and painted over, and it starts really to come together and look really nice. And here is another shot of the living room. So in this shot, I don't believe they replaced the ceiling fan yet, and they may have just finished or were getting to the touch-up paint point, but they didn't install the floors yet. So the floors should always come after painting. Why? Well, if you install all your new laminate floors and then you're going through the house painting, what happens if you get paint all over the new laminate floors, or whatever the flooring material may be? That was actually a problem in the last house that we did. Yeah, we redid all the hardwood floors. They looked beautiful. And then the contractors that did that project decided to paint after doing the floors. And it was, don't do that. It was, yeah, we had to fix it, to say the least. We had to redo all the floors, almost all the floors. I don't remember exactly, but we wound up having to redo a decent amount of the floors, and it was a waste of money, it was a waste of time. So always make sure you do all your painting first, then install the floors. So yeah, you can see how it's shaped up nicely here after, this photo right here is just the subflooring, and then here is after we got all the new laminate installed. Moving on. This is a photo of the outside of the house. It's just a little bit of staging that we did. And you can see that, our realtor does a nice job just making some things stand out, right? She did the little hanging baskets. There's a little pot right here under the windows. She put some mulch down to just make the front yard's curb appeal pop a little bit more. Put out these Adirondack chairs, a couple little plants here and there, and it just helps to make things look a little bit nicer when someone's pulling up for the first time. They're interested in buying it. Really helps things look a little bit better. Now, I was going through, and unfortunately I didn't see the red room. I thought I put the red room in, but I must not have. Huh. Well, totally sorry about that. But you at least got to see the red bathroom. So yeah, there we go. This is 338 Power Street in Knoxville, Tennessee. It took about, wow. We went under contract last June or July, and the short sale process took several months. It was I think it closed late December. So July, January, February, March, April, May, June, December. Yeah, it took 6 or 7 months to close the short sale. So if you ever decide to buy a short sale, just know it's going to take a long time. Probably because the bank you're buying it from is losing money, and banks don't like to do that. So it's a long drawn out process. Then after we closed, it took us about 4-ish months. I'm just approximating here, but yeah, it took us 4 months to get everything fully renovated on the market. And after we got on the market, I think we received an offer within a week, somewhere around a week. Again, just approximating. I don't remember the exact numbers, but yeah, it was probably about a week since we listed it on the MLS. Got a pretty solid offer. We countered it once, and that was it. I was happy, buyer's happy. Now we're under contract, moving forward to closing. They did their inspection. We did the whole repair and replace agreement. There was a little bit of a thing with the roof that we had to have repaired, so got that all fixed up for them. And now all we're waiting for is the buyer's bank to send out their appraiser. We're not anticipating any issues with the appraisal, so hopefully that'll come back within maybe 2 or so weeks. I just followed up with my realtor today to find out when we're going to be getting the appraisal back. And then that's it. We'll be all set to close, and 338 Power Street, Knoxville will be a pretty awesome success. All right, well, thanks so much for watching, and looking forward to getting out the next video so you can see the other projects that we've done as well.